Hey, what's up, everybody? Dustin Matthews here with habit number two. Habit number two, sleep and circadian rhythm health. Maintain a consistent sleep schedule. Okay, so for habit number two, day number two of the 30 Habits in 30 Days video series, we will be maintaining a consistent sleep schedule. Why is that so important? Well, our circadian rhythm is basically our biological clock of when we wake, get tired, and then go to sleep. And consistency is more important than a lot of other factors in terms of sleep hygiene. So that's the one we're going to address first. There are other issues, and obviously, there's a certain amount of sleep that is necessary for different people depending on their age. So for people between the ages of like 18 and 65, the ideal amount of sleep is 7 to 9 hours per night. Okay. I created a PDF and it's like 4 pages of information. If you're interested in learning a lot more about sleep, circadian rhythm, and the importance of that, I've got a link for the PDF down in the description, and that is free. So you can get that if you'd like. What we're going to do for maintaining a consistent sleep schedule. All right. We're not aiming for perfection. Okay. What we're trying to do is just create a consistent routine so that we can get our bodies into a rhythm. Our body, when it gets into a rhythm, we don't have to spend as much effort and energy trying to react and figure things out. Our brain is constantly trying to figure things out and optimize, okay, for its survival. So, what we can do is create consistent routines so that we get into a nice rhythm and flow. And then, what that will do is conserve energy, help us have more stable energy, stabilize our hormones, our mood. And then we can actually use that energy that we're building and maintaining and growing, and we can have more energy to do other things in our lives that we love and enjoy. When it comes to maintaining a consistent sleep schedule, it's actually more important to anchor your wake time before your bedtime. I'm going to be choosing a wake time of 7 a.m. So this will allow me to wake up a little bit earlier than that, but I will wake up no later than 7 a.m. What I'm going to do is create the 7 a.m. wake up time. If I wake up earlier than that, usually I do. I usually wake up naturally without an alarm in an ideal situation, uh, so that I don't interrupt my non-REM sleep. Usually it's best to, you sleep in cycles of 90 minutes with non-REM sleep into REM sleep, which is your dreaming. And then you wake up after dreams, which is more natural. If you sleep with an alarm, you run the risk of waking up during a non-REM cycle or non-REM phase of your sleep cycle, which usually means you wake up feeling a little bit more groggy and you can be irritable. So that's why I try to wake up without an alarm. But for this experiment, what I'm going to do is set a wake time of 7 a.m. because that's a hard cap on when I need to be awake. And then if I wake up earlier than that, 5, 5:30, 6, 6:30, I'll just feel like if I got enough sleep and I'm good, I'll wake up and I'll meditate and start my day. If not, I can go back to sleep until 7. And then my sleep window, what I would recommend for people is once you anchor your wake time, just count back 7 to 9 hours and use that as your reference. Okay, so in that theory, that means you're giving yourself a sleep window. If your wake time is 7 a.m., you're giving yourself a sleep window between 10 and midnight. But I would even close the window a little bit more, and I would close it so that you give yourself that buffer later. So I would close the window from midnight to 11. I would say my sleep window is 10 p.m. to 11 p.m., and my wake time is 7 a.m. There's reasons for all of that, but I'm trying to keep these videos a little bit shorter than 10 minutes. Okay, bye bye. If you're interested in learning more about sleep and all of the different benefits that will help optimize your sleep individually, we'll touch on those a little bit more in this series. But I'm also going to be making a video on sleep and how it impacts school start times and the importance of starting school later for teenagers, for junior high and high school, school should start no earlier than 8:30 a.m. There's a lot of research supporting later school start times are really beneficial for students, both academically, for their mood, emotional regulation, to help deal with things like depression and anxiety. There's also research about better sleep helping prevent diseases like obesity. So I think it's a really important subject that we need to talk about on a larger scale when it comes to people who work night shifts, like police officers and nurses, firefighters, things like that. There's actually a lot of different things that we can do to help the quality of life of those individuals and the performance. So we don't want work performance to suffer, especially in important professions like law enforcement and healthcare. So we need those individuals to be on top of their game all the time, performing well to, save lives and prevent bad things from happening. So it's really important for them to be optimizing their sleep. And I'm going to be creating an entire video on the systems that exist currently in our world and how we have a very big scheduling problem, which is causing a lot of sleep disturbance in these individuals' lives, which I think leads to a lot of the issues that we could avoid with just adapting some of these things that I'll address in that video. So today, for you in this video, what I would suggest, habit number 2 is this. Set a consistent wake time and a consistent sleep window for the next 29 days, because it's day 2. 29 days? 28 days. Math. So set a consistent wake time and sleep window. All right. So for me, my example is my sleep time or sleep window will be 10 to 11 p.m. and my wake time will be 7 a.m. So I will commit to that for the next 29 days. That is it for habit number 2. I'll check in with you later when I'm tucked in bed. Sound effects. So I'll put up a nice little graph here that shows sleep urge and sleep need. And you can see basically once you're awake, your body has this biological sleep urge. So for the longer that you're awake, the sleep urge increases, the sleep need increases. And you can see at different times, we have certain times that we are more sleepy than others. Okay, so it's important to try to align your natural rhythms with the rhythms of nature. And I'll throw up another image here where you can see a circadian rhythm in the 24-hour clock and what things are happening biologically at different times of day based on the rising and setting of the sun. So I truly believe that we are all part of nature. And I think it's important to live in harmony with nature to maximize our human potential. And one of the best ways I think we can do that is to align with our own natural rhythm and get enough sleep. The ideal sleep window that I've discovered that I believe to be true from my experience and research is from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. And you can see on the chart, the 24-hour clock, different things are happening at different times, like melatonin secretion and a spike in blood pressure. So the way that I look at it is when melatonin secretion is starting, I believe that's I think it's around 9:30 p.m. When melatonin secretion starts, that means our brain is priming us to get more sleepy. So we are biologically craving more sleep at that time. So we should surrender and align with that rhythm and let our bodies get more sleep. Okay. So that is why I think the ideal bedtime is starting at 9:30. Ideally, you should be tucked in bed or doing some light, less stimulating activity around 9:30 p.m. And then at 6 a.m., when you have that sharpest blood pressure rise, that's because your body is naturally waking up. Okay. Our blood pressure is increasing to pump more oxygen through our bodies because we're waking up. We're getting ready for activity. Okay. So the ideal sleep window is somewhere between 9:30 p.m. or I would just say, 10 and 6 to make it easy to remember. and that would be a full 8 hours of sleep. There are a lot of other things we can do to help improve our sleep, but for day 2, habit number 2, maintain a consistent sleep schedule. That is the priority. We'll get into other things later. Really simple. Just set a consistent wake time and sleep window. All right. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you on the next one.